Hey, welcome to another one of my videos. I'm Alex and I am the Wandering Englishman. Have you ever wondered how to get from Kiev to Lviv? Or as the Russians would say, Lvov? There are multiple ways to get to Lviv. However, today I'm going to take public transport from the center of Kiev all the way to the center of Lviv. Join me on that journey.
So this is the thing that you get to go on the underground. It's a little plastic piece. You pay 8 hryvnias for it, and then you put it through. So you can sit. Or you could use your contactless. If it's working. I'm not sure what the delay was there. I think it was a bit contactless that wasn't working or something, or the people were just old. I'm not sure.
So to get to Lviv, I started from Khreshchatyk metro station. This is that station, as you probably saw in the title. It is pretty much in the center of Kiev where Maidan begins. I know Ukrainians always say I pronounce it wrong. Maidan, Madin. I apologize. It's like tomato, tomato. Yes, one is right for one person, one is wrong for the other person. And I'm likely saying the name of this station completely wrong as well. The station is called Khreshchatyk because it's named after the street that it's on. The station was opened in 1960, so this is real peak Cold War end times. This is the time when little American children were hiding under their desk anytime there was an air raid siren. This is the time Soviet children were doing exactly the same thing.
You can kind of imagine if the escalators stop working here, this could be a lot of work to climb up these steps. Thankfully they're working today. I haven't actually seen them broken. I think they're broken more in London. I could be wrong. It could be the few times I've used this place, but the escalators have been working great.
So as we continue to go so deep, you kind of see how Soviet government were trying to protect the population of Kiev from the worst possible outcome of the Cold War. I mean, you probably saw from my last video, I am a big fan of the Kiev metro. I like how, unlike Paris, it doesn't stink of piss. I like that it seems reasonably efficient. Don't get me wrong, it breaks down like the best of them. So once at the bottom of this escalator, I'm planning to get the metro. I need to get to Volksana station. I can then get to the Kiev Central Station, known as Kiev. I think it's known as Kiev Pasoletsky. I've definitely butchered that one.
So we finally made it right to the bottom. Almost there. So one of the things I'd like to show you is how easy it is to navigate the public transports in Kiev. You're going to look at these signs, obviously some of it's in English. interestingly, I've noticed in Ukrainian railway, it tells you how many minutes it's been since the last train. Over there, it's been 20 seconds since the last train. It's just left. But it's kind of handy. If you just turn up and you see it's 5 minutes, you know there might be another train along soon. What it doesn't tell you is when the next train is going to be along. You get a feel for the fact that the population might be protected should a nuclear blast come that they were all expecting during the Cold War. Seriously deep stations, every single station is super deep, basically to protect the population, to protect the people from that initial blast, or just in case there was a just sort of ongoing bombing campaign, you never know.
Yeah, so this is Volksalna station. And yes, I know I've drone on about the Cold War and the deepness of these stations a little bit too much, but this is the route that I was taking.
One thing you notice when you're walking around Kiev and the stations, you see a lot of guys in military gear. It's something you don't very much see in the United Kingdom. Military people are dissuaded from wearing their military gear in the UK because of the terrorist threat. UK is one of the most, is a country that has more risk from terrorism than any other country. And yet in Ukraine they don't face that risk. The people are respected, the soldiers are respected, similar to the US where...
Okay, I admit it, slight exaggeration. The UK is not the #1 affected country by terrorism. I was trying to say one of the most affected countries by terrorism. In the global league of terrorism, we're actually number 28 in the global league of 163 nations on terrorism. Obviously, there's more countries than 163 nations.
All right, so almost there. Basically, I'm heading to the station. The station is going to take me to Lviv, and it should be a 5.5 train journey to get to Lviv. Basically as easy as that. Once we get to the sort of main central station, we come out of here, and sort of the old Soviet architecture, relics of sort of communist era of the buildings over there. But a lot of new buildings are springing up around Kiev, as you would have seen in a lot of videos, and just paying attention. But here, this is the main station, typical station. There's a few people you need to look out for, not in a good way, but most people, as is Ukraine, very friendly. They're more likely to help you. Try and speak obviously Ukrainian or Russian to them, they'll probably help you. The reality is it's very easy to navigate around here. Extremely easy to navigate. Head this way, we get to the main area.
I was considering leaving the audio in here, or just simply editing out this scene, but I kind of wanted to leave this scene in because it gives you an illustration of what the biggest train station I think in Ukraine looks like from the outside. I will be going in later, but it also gives you an illustration of what you might see as soon as you arrive at Central Station. So right behind us just now, that's the best place to get the local buses. If you were to go complete opposite side of the station, crossing all 16 tracks, and you're on the southern side of the station, you could get the more long-haul buses. Some of the buses would take you to the main airport. Some would take you further out of Kiev and to the local towns and cities. The food offering around here isn't great. There's a McDonald's over there. I don't endorse McDonald's, but there's an option. If you really want good food, you really want to be heading at least a half a kilometer away from the station. then in any direction, there's going to be good restaurants, nice places to eat. Yeah, this is a very busy station. It serves about 180,000 people a day, based on the last estimates. And I think it's a lot more now because those statistics are out of date. Just be a little bit wary, but I've never seen any problems in this station. And I've passed through this station so many times. There's a lot of military presence, so the reality is they're looking out for members of the public. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be looking out for your belongings, and you shouldn't be looking out for, people trying to scam you. Sadly, just like in any country, it does happen. The only scam I can really think about is people putting bracelets on your wrist and then trying to make you feel compassionate about the war that's going on in the East. I'm not 100% convinced that money is going to the soldiers in the East. I think it will just go into people's pockets. So it's really up to you if you're feeling generous. Anyway, I'm going to let myself talk again.
And here we are, the main central station. Quite an impressive sort of old Soviet design. Noisy. It is warm though. And, I'm supposed to head up there. Usually the escalators are working. I said the escalators are normally working right now. Today they're not. Okay, one of the hardest things about traveling around Ukraine back in the day, and I'm talking about it literally only a year ago, was the fact that I would have to come to the station and queue up and try and find someone that would understand me. I used Google Translate, and despite showing information on my phone and saying this is what I would like in Russian or Ukrainian, it would be a very complicated process, and I often would involve queuing up 10 minutes, 20 minutes, trying to get the right ticket, and sometimes I would end up getting sold the wrong ticket, which isn't very helpful. However, now there's a great app, and the app allows you to buy the ticket on the phone, and I now have the ticket on my phone. However, the archaic thing is, I still need this printed, so I have to queue up at one of these. I have to give them the number, despite the fact that it has this, because when you get on the train, someone wants to physically rip your ticket, even though you have this. Now, don't get me wrong, there might be some train services that don't require the physical ticket, but I've found that when you leave Kiev Station, you need to have the physical ticket. So I've just queued up, I've got the ticket in my pocket, I'm holding a million things, so I'm not going to show you right now, but it takes about 10 minutes, so make sure you get here early. Notice they sell chicken Kiev, and I have to be honest, the food at these sort of sandwiches at these little places, not the most appetizing, I'll be honest. So fill up, get yourself a hearty breakfast at some of the most amazing restaurants around. Fill your stomach up, and then you won't have to eat bad sandwiches. The escalator got fixed just as soon as I mentioned it.
Szanowni pasażerowie, продовжується посадка на денний швидкісний поїзд Інтерсіті номер 724 з полученням Київ-Харків. Поїзд знаходиться на третій колії. Нумерація вагону починається з західної сторони вокзалу. Ті також
This is the key to working out how to find the destination you're going to. Obviously look for the train number. Also importantly, look for the destination. I know I'm stating the obvious there, really, aren't I? But it's up on this upper platform you'll find things.
Щасливої вам дороги.
This is the next hard part, trying to find the correct coach you're supposed to be on. Some of the coaches are labelled, some of them are out of order. I'm supposed to be on coach 7, so I'm hoping this next one is coach 7. Coach 7. Alright, found it. This is the coach. Sometimes you see fluid dripping out of the undercarriage because the toilets spill onto the track. So far, so good. I have to admit, slightly disappointed. Last time I got the train, we had proper seats where we could sit down and lounge back. Today I'm on a sort of, I'm in a carriage where it's compartments, seats are upright, so it's going to be a less comfortable journey. It's annoying. 5 hours. So halfway through the train journey. Sorry. Okay, halfway through the train journey, I've just ordered some tea. I'm being served by this young lady here. There we go. I get 1 tea per journey. It's quite nice. So yeah, it's very dark as you can see. I should arrive in Lviv by 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. It's winter, so it gets dark early here. Sadly, no milk.
Milk? Ugh! It's what Ian Rush drinks. Ian Rush? Yeah, and he said if I didn't drink lots of milk, when I grow up, I'm going to be good enough to play for Accrington Stanley. Accrington Stanley? Who are they? Exactly. Nah, get off. Give me some. Get off.
So we are, we've arrived 5.5 hours later. Fairly comfortable train ride. And now I'm in Lviv. Basically, if you like traveling around on trains, Ukraine is a very easy place to travel around on. And I just wanted to illustrate that on this video. So appreciate the fact you've been watching. A little bit of a, possibly a dull video, but what's new there? And anyway, welcome to Lviv. Soviet stations. Not much has changed actually since the Soviet days, and certainly here anyway. And there we have it. So this is the main station in Lviv, a little bit different to the one in Kiev. As you can see, a bit noisy. But so I'm going to go outside. I'm going to show you how easy it is to get. I'm going to show you how easy it is to get a bus to the centre. It's very easy to get a taxi also, but getting a bus to the centre is just as easy, and it's only going to cost you, I think, it's either 5 hryvnias or 8 hryvnias. Let's find out. I find there's a lot of construction going on at the Lviv station, but to be honest, it's been happening a long time. Just if you need a bus, head straight. As you come out of the station, head straight up here, and you go down this long road, and you'll see some sort of like makeshift sort of food places on this long road. And you need to keep going because the buses are down the end, at least the one that you want if you want to go to the centre. If you want an Uber, this is the place to get it, just here. You ask the Uber taxi driver to pick you up just here, pick you up. Here is where you get the buses, I mean. So according to Google, I need 31 and 29. There we go. There it is, I can see it right down the end. Honestly, it's as easy as that. So as long as you have a working phone with Google Maps, you can pretty much get anywhere. Turns out it was 7 hryvnia to get the bus. 7 hryvnia. So it's actually cheaper than Kiev because Kiev is 8 hryvnia. But that's so cheap. That's it's about 20 20 pence, 25 cents or so to get the bus. And it will take me to my apartment, which is near the Opera House in Lviv. It's easy as that.
Wow, so you actually made it to the end of this video. I really appreciate the fact you got here. And if you did make it to the end of this video, do leave a comment below. I really appreciate it. It's always good to hear from you. And honestly, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Share this with your friends if you can. My videos seem to be being suppressed by YouTube, so your help is always greatly appreciated. Thank you very much.